Betty Crocker Super Moist Chocolate Fudge Cake Mix for this recipe, and we're following the instructions on the back of the box. Now you can use a homemade chocolate cake recipe if you have one. If not, I can link mine above if you want to check that out. If you want something simple and easy, trust me, just use cake mix because it's way easier. It's a no-brainer and it's just super simple, and cake pops tend to take a lot of time, so to cut your time in half or just to make things easy, use cake mix. I promise you, you won't regret it and it'll give you really good results. So just follow the instructions on the back of the cake mix box and then just spray a baking dish and add every last drop of batter to the baking dish, flatten the top, and bake it in your preheated oven at whatever your cake box mix says. And then take it out of the oven once it's done baking and allow it to come to room temperature. Make sure it's completely cool. And once it's completely cool, using a knife, cut the edges out. You don't want the edges. I like to cut them out just because they tend to be a lot more I guess crispy or burnt or hardened, and I don't like that texture in my cake pops. As you know, Starbucks cake pops are super soft and moist, and that's kind of what we're going for. So take those out, snack on them, save them for later, and then running a knife gently on top and on the bottom. You can take off the caramelization. You don't have to worry too much about this just because it is chocolate and it doesn't show as much as like the white cake mix. Add this cake to a large bowl, make sure it is super large, and then using clean hands like I am doing here, you want to go ahead and mix it or crumble it until it is nicely combined and crumbly and beautiful. This is kind of fun, so it's like therapeutic and relaxing. So mix it, crumble it until it looks something like this. Once it looks something like this, I went ahead and used the Betty Crocker frosting. This is rich and creamy chocolate frosting, super good. Try not to eat the whole thing while you're making this because the frosting is delicious. Add 2 tablespoons to it. Using your clean hands again, mix it until it comes together. It should be like the consistency of Play-Doh. It's really fun to do this. If you guys have kids, have them help you out. Just make sure their hands are clean. So once it comes together like this, you are ready. So now I'm showing you what a double boiler is, or a makeshift double boiler. I just have a pan with a little bit of water on the bottom, and then I'm using this glass HeSafe bowl to put that on top of my saucepan. Just make sure that the glass doesn't touch the water. And these are the chocolate wafers or the chocolate candy melts that I'm using. You can try chocolate chips. Yeah, I tried that and I don't have much success with them. So I do recommend that you use these candy melts or these chocolate wafers. These are dark chocolate wafers just because they melt a lot better than chocolate chips. I know you guys said it worked. Well, some of you guys said it worked for you, but for me, it didn't work. So I'm not going to do that. And then to a baking sheet that's been lined with foil or parchment paper, you want to start rolling your balls. So all you want to do is grab an ice cream scoop or a mountain scoop. This is a 1.5 tablespoons. You want to grab your chocolate batter that's already cooked or baked, and you want to squeeze it in between your palms first, kind of like I'm doing right here. And then you want to roll it into a ball. You want to make sure you squeeze it first before you roll it into a ball, just because you want to get all that air out, and you do not want there to be any, like air pockets or creases or something like that. It happens anyways, so just make sure you're squeezing it, rolling it between your palms, and fixing any imperfections with your finger. So you should get around 26 cake balls. So after you got your little cake balls all rolled out, you want to go ahead and start dipping your cake pop sticks into the melted chocolate. So I've linked everything down for you guys, like the cake box mixes and the cake pop sticks and everything else. However, I don't really recommend you guys buying them online just because they tend to be a little bit more pricey. Just go to Walmart or Hobby Lobby and pick them up. They tend to be a lot cheaper as opposed to Amazon, but you guys do whatever you want. I just recommend that you guys go to the store. So dip your cake pop sticks into the chocolate candy melt and then poke your cake pops with the sticks. You should just poke them about halfway, and then you are going to place them in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. Yes, you heard correctly. Place them in the refrigerator for 30 minutes to an hour until they harden. We're not placing them in the freezer anymore. We're changing things up. So we're just trying to make sure we get as many cake pops as possible. I've learned a few tricks along the way after making so many cake pops. Then to the chocolate candy melts, I added some flavorless oil. You do not have to add this oil. However, I find that when you add the oil, it loosens the candy melts chocolate, I guess, a little bit. It makes it a little bit looser, but it also keeps the chocolate heated a lot longer, so it keeps it melted a lot longer. You're not melting it continuously. So pull around 4 max out of the refrigerator. Do not pull all of them out at a time. I'm talking about the cake pops. So working with a few at a time, you want to dip each one individually into the chocolate candy melts and then gently tap and twirl any of the extra candy melts off. I'm using my fingers to break the fall. Do not tap the stick directly on the bowl or the glass cup or whatever you're dipping them in, because that will cause the tops to pop off. I'm using these sprinkles from Walmart. They're white, they're cute, and you just want to sprinkle them while the candy melt has not set yet on your cake pops. And then just add them to a styrofoam or this cake pop stand. I like the styrofoam a lot better, but this cake pop stand was a lot cheaper. You guys do whatever works for you. So again, use a spatula, just be super gentle and super patient with your cake pops. This step takes the longest, so if you need help, if you have a sister, a mother, a husband, someone around you to help you, make sure you grab them to help you, because if you're making these, they're gonna take forever. At the beginning of this year, 2020, I think Food Insider or BuzzFeed, I don't remember exactly who came out with the video saying that cake pops was one of the top 10 of like the decade of foods that needed to like disappear or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I remember thinking to myself, yeah, right, I know that you guys and me, of course, love cake pops, so let's prove them wrong that cake pops are still trendy and delicious, and they are not going anywhere. They're here to stay. So if you guys wanted to save some money, like I said, make sure you guys just go to Hobby Lobby or Walmart and pick up all the ingredients. They're much cheaper than picking them up online, so you guys can save a little bit of money by doing that.